Today we'll start discussing on business research process. The process have 5 steps: defining the problem, having a research plan, then conducting research, then you will have kind of data analysis and report findings, and based upon those findings you will be taking some action. So in the fifth step, taking action, I guess that is the main difference between academic research and business research, because most of the times in academic research the output will be a research paper or a research article, whereas in a business research, based upon your kind of research output, the business management has to take some actions. Maybe they will increase the price, decrease the price, or have a new advertisement, new website, or add some new features. So those kind of actions they will be taking. But in academic research, that will result in a academic paper or a research article which will create a new knowledge, new method, or add a new technique to it. So in the first step, defining the problem, we start with a decision problem, convert it to a research problem. I'll discuss what is a discuss problem and what is a decision problem and what is a research problem in the next slide. Once we have research problem, that's one research problem can be divided into 2 or 3 research objectives, or maybe more than that. For each research objective, depending upon the requirement, we can create a hypothesis. Hypothesis creation is not mandatory. If I have a previous literature, like kind of review or a previous theoretical framework, which had like have prior knowledge, I can use that to create hypothesis. Otherwise, I'll go with the research objectives. Second step is basically talks about the research plan. There are kind of 5 sub-steps, which we'll discuss in our second slide. Conducting the research, sometimes what happens, rather than you yourself conducting the research, you will have a kind of a research team. So those the research enumerators or maybe investigators, they will get into field and collect data for you, right? Then once we get the result, we'll be analyzing that depending upon the data analysis method we have chosen, depending upon the software we have chosen. Then we'll report our findings. So that is one important step, which we'll discuss in our fourth slide. Last step is basically taking action. Okay, so let's jump into the first step, defining the problem or defining the objective. One key difference we have to remember between decision problem and research problem. Whenever we get a project from any corporate, that is in terms of decision. What it means, what kind of decision they need to take, right? I need to convert that problem into a research problem. How both are different? Decision problem is basically if I answer that question, the corporate will be able to take some action. Let's say the first question is about should a new product be introduced. At the end of my research, I should be able to give some concrete answers. Yes, you should launch this product. No, you should not launch this product. Yes, you should launch this product with a lesser price or maybe after 3 months. So those kind of answers I should be able to give, because based upon that the corporate will be able to take some actions. To do that, to give those answers, I need some information from market. That's why I have to convert the decision problem into a research problem. So research problem is basically formed in such a way that I'll be able to collect some information from the market. If you see in the first step, the first question is asking should a new product be introduced. How you have converted that to a research problem? To determine consumer preferences for that kind of product, right? So you can conduct different conjoint analysis. Maybe we can conduct to understand the consumer preferences, or maybe a preference mapping we can do. Similarly, next step is should be the advertising campaign be changed. So I have a current advertisement campaign, so I have to understand, I need to know that whether that campaign is working well or I need to change that, right? So then I need some data on. So basically, whenever we do a advertisement, basically to increase my revenue, right? Increase my exposure to market, increase my products exposure to the market, product visibility in the market. So whether those, if the effectiveness is not proper, effectiveness is not there, then I have to change. But how to measure the effectiveness of advertisement? There are different scales to measure the effectiveness of advertisement, different research instruments. I can use that. Next step is should the or the one of the another question is should the price of the brand be increased? Should the one of the product I have and I want to understand whether the price of those products should be increased, right? So obviously I have to know that okay, if I increase the price, what will be impact on the my kind of how much volume that going to reduce, right? What will be whether competitors are going to do, what kind of actions they are going to do, right? So those kind of information I need to collect from market. So that's how both your decision problem and research problem varies. So once you have your decision problem and have converted that to a research problem, next step to have a research plan, right? So anything you need to do in research, you should have a proper plan towards it. Research plan have basically 5 components: data sources, research approaches, contact methods, sampling plan, and research instruments. Data sources, the first one talks about which kind of data you will be using in for your research, whether it is primary data, secondary data, or a mix of that. Primary data is basically the data which you are collecting first hand. You are going to the market and you are collecting the data first time. That is a new kind of knowledge, new kind of data set which you are collecting. Secondary data which is already available, maybe in-house, so that is internal sources, or maybe you have to buy that, that is through some consulting reports or industry report. Somebody have already done that research, you just need to buy that report to get that data, right? Second one is research approaches. Research approaches are basically 3 types: exploratory, descriptive, causal. Exploratory is something which we should do for any research. Exploratory is something basically kind of a problem identification research. We go and see that what kind of problem is happening in the company. So if you see in the first slide, when you talk about decision problem or research problem, that decision problem basically comes from an exploratory research, right? Somebody will explore what is happening in the market, how competitors are doing, then they will have a decision problem, they will have a problem to decide on. Then descriptive is basically based upon data which will collect and conduct some statistical analysis, and will be able to describe why it is happening, so why, how. So those kind of answers will be getting through descriptive research. Causal is basically when we set up certain kind of experiment and see the result. So cause and effect results we can measure and give some answers. So let's say I have certain website and I want to understand whether I'll add some features. Let's say there is a frequently asked question feature is there. By adding that, whether there will be increase in my visitors, right? So what I'll do, I'll carry out a A/B testing. In one website there will not be kind of a one version of my website, there will be no frequently asked question feature. In other version of my website there will be frequently asked question. By conducting a A/B testing, I'll be able to know that whether including that feature of frequently asked questions, website visitors have increased or not. Next one is contact methods, how you are going to contact your respondent. Sometimes you have to go to the field in this sense of the market, you have to go and collect information. Sometimes it is through observation only. Let's say I want to understand the productivity of workers in a plant. I need not go and ask them questions. I just have to go and observe them in a plant setup and see that what is their productivity, right? Sometimes we, like most of the times right now in today's world, we are collecting or conducting surveys through kind of online forums or online kind of websites are available. The other methods are basically telephonic, email. Earlier people used to use these postal ballots or postal surveys, which in today's world has been reduced. Next step is sampling plan. Sampling plan, one of the key concept is sampling frame. Always remember, though the sampling frame name is sampling, it has nothing to do with sampling. Sampling frame is basically a list of your target population. If I want to conduct a survey about, let's say, college student in Bhubaneswar, so the list which provides me all the details of college student, name, contact details of college students, let's say all the postgraduate student to be specific in Bhubaneswar who are studying in Bhubaneswar different colleges, that is my sampling frame. So sampling frame is a list of target population. If I want to conduct a research on postgraduate students studying in different colleges in Bhubaneswar, the list of all the postgraduate student with name and contact details is my sampling frame. Using that sampling frame, depending upon my sampling size and sampling method, I'll be collecting samples. That means I'll collecting those contact details and I'll be contacting them and will be requesting them to give some information. Sampling technique again, it can be probability technique or non-probability technique. So I have a separate video on that. You may watch that. Next one is sample size. Basically, depending upon your probability technique or which kind of statistics you are going to use, whether it is a bivariate or multivariate statistics, your different sample size calculation is there and we can use that. Next one is research instrument. Research instruments, in most of the time, 70 to 80% of the times, we are going ahead and doing some questionnaire, conducting surveys through questionnaires. There are also different qualitative measures. I have a separate video which talks about different qualitative techniques like focus group discussions, in-depth interviews, and your projective techniques. In today's world, recent technical innovations like kind of a eye tracker, eye movement tracker, or let's say your brain sensor. So those kind of technical advancement are helping different kind of research. Like let's say I want to understand if a person is going to buy something in a retail outlet where his or her eye movements happen, right, in the cell, whether it is lower shelves, upper shelves, or middle shelves, where the her or his the customer's eye movements happen frequently. So rather than asking them those questions, if I will be able to put them a kind of a, they can wear some glasses and with a tracker, with a sensor, I can track their eye movement. So some companies are putting a lot of investment on that. Next one is conducting research. In conducting research, sometimes what happen, we engage some of the field investigators. So they do research on our behalf. So we have to know that which kind of they are trained properly. We have to supervise them. We have to ensure that those questions which we need answers on, they are able to understand and they are able to collect data correctly, right? So that is very much important. Supervising and validating the data which they are getting. So this is much more important when you are doing a qualitative research, because that is in a quantitative research, when we are doing it through questionnaire, like those people may get correct responses, but in kind of a qualitative research, it is a much more difficult to train and engage trained supervisors or trained field investigators in qualitative research area. Next one is analyzing the data and present findings. So this is something which you need to remember, because as market researchers, one key mistake we may do is we just put those p values, critical values, statistical analysis. Let's say I carried out a factor analysis. I'll show that okay, these are the two factors. Or let's say I'll carry out a conjoint analysis and I'll say that okay, these are the 2-3 cards which have a significant result. Okay, but that doesn't mean anything to the audience, right? Intended audience may not understand the statistical concepts. So we have to ensure that the results we are getting, we are able to make it concise, clear to the audience. The intended audience are able to understand our results. In academic research, what happens? Yes, our focus will be on those statistical analysis, what kind of test, what kind of methodology we use. But in a business research, the audience will be much more interested in the kind of what are the results you got and how you are going to use that, right? So you have to always remember audience comes first, and accordingly you have to tweak your presentation findings. When I say tweak, obviously you are not going to change that, but how you are going to show that, right? So that is something you have to always keep in mind. Next one is taking action. Taking action, like I said, it is mostly relevant in kind of a business research, may not be relevant in academic research. Taking action in sense of like the question which we discussed. Let's say if I adding a frequently asked question option in a website, my research told me that okay, it will increase your visitors by 25%, right? And I made those changes. I in my website I added a frequently asked question feature, and I waited for 3 months, but observed that no, there are no more changes in visitors. Still visitors are same. So that means either my research results are wrong, or there may be something else is happening in the market. So those are the few things you have to remember, depending upon your research results. What are the actions you are taking? You have to monitor it. You have to track it. Depending upon your monitoring, depending upon the feedback you are getting from the market, you may have to take some different sets of action. Okay. So we'll stop here. That completes our business research process.